This month is going to be a little bit crazy with the Amazing Readathon and my TBR game. And I don't think it's going to be nice to me. We are monsters. We give and we take. Hey Bookish Babes, and welcome to my book nook. For those that are new here, the name's Rainy. I read all types of books, primarily fantasy romance, so if you're interested in that, please like and subscribe to my channel down below. Now in today's video, it's exactly what I said. We are going to be doing the one with my TBR game, which is my friends themed TBR trivia-esque game. I've been doing this for years now. I will put a link to the playlist underneath if you want to see episodes that you've missed or see what it's all about, but basically I roll a 10-sided die 6 times and I have 4 different categories: new to me authors, authors I've read from before, series, and then trending books, and then I have to also draw a prompt and see what book gets on my TBR. Now, usually I pull 6 and then I do a lightning round answering friends' questions and see if I have to put potentially a 7th book on there. But since the Amazing Readathon is happening in June and I always participate in that fully, and there are 10 prompts that we actually know ahead of time this year, what I thought would be good is to actually just roll 10 times and then add them with the prompts being the prompts, so that way it is always a book going towards the Amazing Readathon. However, there is one that I'm just going to say now because I've already done all my rolls that I didn't roll for initially because it was like, oh, you have to read a shorter book than the last book you read, and so I didn't put a book because I was like, oh, how am I going to determine that? But then I was like, oh, Rainy, you could have just chosen a short book and guarantee that it's going to be shorter than anything you just read, and so I will just share what I chose for that at the end. I didn't do a roll for that. I just chose a book for that, okay? But with that being said, before we can do anything, we do have to look over, did Rainy read the books on her May TBR? And how many books does she have to unhaul? Because that is a rule that I set for myself this year. And I'm just going to tell you right now, May sucked. May sucked for reading. I think I read a total of 4 or 5 books, which is like the worst that I've done in a long, long time. Like, I just did not get a lot of books done. And yes, technically when I'm, I guess, sharing this, I will get hopefully a couple of books that I'm in the middle of done by the time June 1st rolls around. However, we have to film this now. So that's what's happening. So anyway, let's just talk about, did I read the books or not? The first book I was supposed to read is Wind Weaver, and I did not get to this. However, just keep watching the video. Maybe it'll pop back up in the TBR for some reason. Then I was supposed to read Heavenly Bodies by Imani Ariu because this was my Tortured Readers book club pick for May. And I did get to page 137, and I will finish this by the end of this month. But I was not loving this. So I did not rush to finish it, but I will finish it because we have the policy where one of us DNFs, the other has to finish. So I will finish this book because Katie has DNF'd. But I'm not itching to pick this up, but I'm going to count it because I am in the middle of it. I was supposed to read Powerless by Elsie Silver, and I didn't get to it. There was no excuse. I just didn't get to it. Then I was supposed to read A Fate Forged in Fire, and I am 30% into that book, so I'm going to count it. Technically, I should have been done by today because that's when it released for NetGalley, but I'm not enjoying this book, which is very unfortunate. So I will finish it, though. Then I was supposed to read City of Gods and Monsters. Obviously, I didn't get to it if I'm only reading 4 or 5 books for the month, and this is like an 800-page book. Didn't happen. Then I was supposed to read Enchantra. I didn't get to it either. Do I still need to get to this? Yes. Will I get to it soon? Also yes. And then I grabbed the wrong one. This is One Dark Window, not Two Twisted Crowns, but I was supposed to read Two Twisted Crowns, and alas, I did not. I did not. So unfortunately, I didn't read 5 out of 7 books, which means I have to unhaul 5 books, and I feel like this is going to be difficult because I just unhauled, basically, when I redid my shelves, and I don't know that I possibly have 5 books that I want to unhaul right now. So give a girl a minute. Okay, actually, there's one book that I cannot share with you that I am unhauling, but just know, I am unhauling this book, but I cannot share it. And then I'll probably end up unhauling The Thrashers by Julie Soto, which is actually a book that I just hauled. I got it for free, though, at BookNet Fest. They did, like, this book swap, and there was only 5 books that I really wanted, but I had 6 tickets, so I just picked this up at the last second. But I haven't heard amazing things about Julie Soto's, like, foray into thrillers. I thought about keeping it, but, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to want it. So I'll probably unhaul this. Okay, I've been keeping this because I keep saying that I'm going to read it because it's like one of the most original dark academias out there, but I've heard really problematic stuff about this author, so honestly, I should probably just get rid of it, and that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. And I've also heard it's not necessarily actually that good. So we'll just get rid of it. And then I keep holding on to this Ruth Ware book, being like, this will be the Ruth Ware book that I read and enjoy. But like, I don't like Ruth Ware. So like, and I'm never going to pick this up. So I don't know why I'm keeping it. And then this one has been saved from many unhauls, but like, it had an interesting premise, but I just know myself. I'm like never going to read this. So it's going to go away. And there you go. I unhauled 5 books. I made it work. Okay. So now let's dive into the world that is Tar. Okay, so 20 is a new to me author, and it also gets to be, sorry if you see my tiny baby girl, my choice. Like seriously, this could not have started off better. But it's not fully my choice because now we're going to pull from the 9 prompts that I can pull from for Tar and see what I have to make it match. And we are doing celestial or godly word in title. That is very unfortunate. That it is a new author because there was a specific book I wanted to read, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll go cry in the corner. So 20 had to be a new to me author, and it was my choice on the genre, and it had to have a celestial or godly word in the title. And I had the perfect book for it, so let me go grab it. And I would say this is a godly word, goddess. So we are reading The Goddess of by Randy Garner. I have been wanting to read this. I am so excited to read this. Like, it's stunning, first off. And I just really, really want to know what this is about. So I know that this is about a girl named Naya, and she doesn't have any title or any power, presumably. But she's the key to a curse placed centuries ago on her mother. She has to marry a god from an opposing family. But when she comes to the arranged marriage, she turns to the high god of death and curses for help. But he says under one condition, she has to accept a curse blindly. And so willing to do whatever it takes to escape her kingdom, she agrees and flees to the mortal land. And then, let's see, she has to team up with someone named Ronan, I think. Okay, and I don't know exactly what's going to happen because of this curse, but it sounds really good. So I'm excited to get to this month. 45 is also Fears and Pet Peeves, which is another new to me author, and it is also my choice. Let's just hope, the fates have a better thing in store for me than what happened last time. But now we are doing a book with low ratings that I think I will still like. Okay. So 45 is a new to me author, which is my choice, a book with low ratings that I will still like. And so I actually decided that I would let my patrons vote on this. And so the 4 books that I gave them is To Cage a God, which is a fantasy romance that came out a while ago, and I have a Fairy Loot subscription or a Lumicrate book box of it. It only has like a 3.26. And then I have The Center, which is a horror novel that I've heard good things about. And then we have Thirst, which is like a lit ficky vampire book. And then we have The Atlas 6. So I don't know what is winning currently, but why don't we go take a check and see if anything is winning at this current moment. So by the time I finish filming this, if there's not a tie anymore, then I'm going to go with that. Otherwise, I don't know what to do in this. Do I pick the one that nobody voted for and just say, hey, that's the one I'm doing? I don't know. I don't know, friends. We're going to come back to this one. We'll come back to this one, okay? It looks like my poll result has come in, and so I will pop it up right here, and I'm going to be reading Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, which I'm very excited about, but also scared because I have not read an Olivia Blake yet, and I actually own a lot of her books, and so I'm just hoping that her writing works for me, and I do normally love a dark academia, so I'm hoping that this works, but I have not had great success with dark academias during the Amazing Readathon because I tried to read Vicious at one point, I tried to read Ninth House, and I was struggling. So let's hope that this doesn't end up like every other one. 10 is Ancient History, which means it has to be an author I've read from before. And once again, it is my choice! Eloise. I'm sorry, she's very excited for me, but it's my choice once again. So let's go with Cozy or Comfort Read. All right. 10, which had to be an author that I've read from before, and it had to be my choice, and it had to be cozy or a comfort read. Obviously, I went with comfort read because, like, let's be serious, I don't read cozy books. And I decided to go with Dark Fae by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti because I'm trying to do the order that is like the most impactful and that doesn't give away spoilers. And so you're supposed to read this after Zodiac Academy book 3. And so I am excited to hopefully get to this. And oh yeah, I taped it in here because Cassidy had given me this book for Christmas. So I keep cards in the books. So anyway, I'm excited to hopefully get to this because Zodiac Academy is a comfort read. I love that series so very much. And I'm sure I will also enjoy this series as well. 36 is from literature, which means it has to be part of a series, but it is also green, which means it has to be from a thriller or horror series, and I don't have a lot of those. So if I can't figure one out with this prompt, then we will go to any series that I own. And the prompt is, if I could get it open, a book that takes place in a large city. That might be difficult. So 36 had to be a series, but it had to be a thriller or horror series, which can be kind of tricky, and it had to be set in a large city. And that was going to be hard until I was on sprints and Bree luckily pointed out a book in the right direction for me on that one. I couldn't find the book for a second until I realized that it has sprayed edges, so that's why it's on my sprayed edges shelf. But I will be reading The Perfect Divorce by Geneva Rose because I read The Perfect Marriage and really enjoyed it. And since this does take place in a large city, is it LA or is it New York? One of the two. I will definitely be reading this. So I'm actually glad I'll be able to knock off a series that I finished, which means I can do that for my series bingo board. Even better. So 27 is from ancient history, which means it has to be an author I've read from before, and it also has to be a romance, which actually that would be kind of funny if I picked the one that also says read a book with a romance in it. Like, what would be the odds of that? A book with a chilling cover or a winter setting. She is just very chatty today. So upon further reflection, I realized I have to read a romance. They're not going to have a chilling cover and a winter setting. I guess they could be like an ice skating setting, but I don't know any of those. So I'm allowing myself to redraw. And if you have a problem with it, well, it's my game show. And I'm redrawing to book with a green cover. All right, I'll take it. The next one is 27, which it had to be an old author or an author I've read from before, and it had to be a romance or have a romance in it. No, it had to be romance genre, and it had to have a green cover. And after quickly learning that the book I was thinking of did not work for this, I had to change gears, and I have to pick a different book. So let me go grab the book I decided on. You know what? I'll pick a shorty patorty. I will. It's an old-to-me author, and it's a romance, and it's actually the same author that I was going to pick from initially, but just not their fantasy romance. And so I will read Juniper Hill by Daphne Perry because I do own the rest of this series, so I might as well continue on. Indigo Ridge was okay, but I wouldn't mind trying this one. I think this is a single mom romance, which I could be interested in. So you know what? We'll go the contemporary route for this one. 30 is from It's All Relative, which means it needs to be either a trending book or a book that I have to put on my TBR for some reason or another. So I am going to draw, and we are going to get a book with a chilling cover or a winter setting. So 30 had to be a trending book or a book that I needed to put on my TBR. It also was my choice, and it was a book with a chilling cover or a winter setting. And so I went with a book that's not trending as much right now, but it was really trending at the end of last year, beginning of this year, and so I'm still hoping that that counts. At least, when did this book come out? Yeah, it came out in 2024. And that is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. I have been wanting to read this since I got it. It just looks like that creepy, weird horror that I will like. And that's a very unchilling cover, I must say. I don't know a lot about it. I know it's about a girl that I think is obsessed about eyes. And she, like, becomes a serial killer because of it. Like I said, I don't know a lot. But I am excited to get this on the TBR. 49 is an ancient history, which means it has to be an author I've read from before, but it is orange, which means that it can be genre specific based off of what the prompt gives me. So, like, there's no specific genre for this. So with that, we're going to go with violent word in the title. Okay. Then we had 49, which is an old author or an author that I've read from before. And it had to be, it was prompt dependent on the genre. So like depending what the prompt was, I could pick a genre. And it had to be a violent word in the title. And I don't actually own this book because I bought the books out of order. Ash is going to be very excited that I put this on here, but I'm putting God of Pain because pain is a violent word, okay, by Miss Rena Kent. I need to continue on with the Legacy of God series. I did promise Ash that we could binge read the rest of the Legacy of God series in the summer, and so that is what I'm going to be doing. I think this is Landon's book. Actually, no, I don't think this is Landon's book. I have no idea whose book this is, but I loved God of Malice so much. I think about it pretty much daily, so I'm sure that I will love this book as well, so glad to get it on the TBR. So 39 is Fears and Pet Peeves, which means it has to be a new to me author, but it is orange once again, which means that it is not genre specific. It just depends what the prompt is. And so we're going to go with a book with a romance. And it had to be a book with a romance in it. So let me grab that book. I decided to go with a book that is short, but that I also was going to read for Villains and Vixens so that I knew if I needed to meet this author or not. And so I'm going to be going with The Curse of Ophelia by Nicole Platania, which I'll actually need to ask Sarah if she wants to buddy read this with me because she did get me this book. So she is just so very sweet. And so this one I don't know a lot about. It says, let me see. It's been 2 years since Ophelia has seen the boy she loves. When a treaty was signed ending the war and lifting the curse on Mystique warriors, Malachi left to attempt the sacred ritual known as the Other Taking, and he never returned. Then she has pursued a fruitless search for answers. When the deadly curse resurfaces only on her, she finds solace in the idea that when she dies, she might be reunited with her long-lost love, and then a messenger appears telling her that she alone may be the one to save her people. So then, ooh, interesting. Okay. Well, I've heard there's a romance in this. If there ends up not being a romance in this, that'll be kind of sad. But I'm going off the basis that I've heard things about that. So that's what we're going with. And the last one is 29, which is It's All Relative, which means, once again, it needs to be a trending book or a book I need to put on the TBR for some reason or another. It's orange, which means it's not genre specific, and the only prompt left is an over-the-top cover. And we had 29, which was a trending or a book that I needed to put on the TBR for some reason, and it was another prompt-dependent genre. Like, it's really helping me this time. And it is an over-the-top cover. And I'm going to go with Windweaver, but with this cover. Like the naked hardback, okay? We're not going to go with this one because that's not very over the top. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I'm going to be doing a buddy read, hopefully with Brittany and Sarah for this, because I had a different book in mind. But I've been wanting to read this. I really just need to know what all the hype is about. It is very much trending right now, and I want to also read my Fairy Loot books closer to when I get them. So I am just glad that we were able to make this line up for this. Okay, I've messed up and I've refilmed this like 30 times. I somehow got the numbers mixed up. So I had already done the 9. Okay, I had already done the 9 rolls and then realized that I forgot to just pick a book that would be shorter than anything else for the final prompt, which is read a book that's shorter than the last book you read. So I will be reading Victorian Cycle for that because I just really want to know about this blood-thirsty governess who like learns the true meaning of revenge, and like there's creepy dolls. I want to know why my brother says that I'm disturbed for enjoying this sort of book when he read the last page. Like, this is the perfect weird girl horror book for me. I'm very excited to have this on the TBR. But then I was like, wait a minute, I have lightning round. So I'm going to let you see lightning round, but I don't know if I have the footage of when I pulled it. I think I do. When I fix it all from here, but I kept saying that this prompt was a prompt for Tar, and it's not. It's a prompt for the lightning round. So this final book that you see, I made it onto the TBR, not for Tar, but just an extra book because well, to be fair, I didn't do well at the lightning round, and I guess you're going to see that right now. All right, we know the drill. I get 30 seconds to answer 5 questions. I have to get at least 3 right, or I'm adding a roll. Here we go. Sorry, I randomly got one that I think I did last time, so I couldn't do that same one. All right, ready? Here we go. What was Monica's New Year resolution? To lose weight? I don't know. Name one of the things Phoebe caught Joey eating in the shower. A sandwich. What was the playground nickname of the character played by Julia Roberts? I can't remember. How much did Rachel's parents spend on her? What part did Courtney Cox originally audition for? Rachel. I know that. I don't know. I think I only got 2 right. Monica's New Year resolution was to take more pictures of the friends. Yeah, I definitely didn't get that. I remember that now. One of the things Phoebe caught Joey eating in the shower was a pickle bologna sandwich. I mean, I put sandwich, that counts. What was the playground nickname? Susie Underpants. I knew it had to do with underpants. I knew it. $40,000 they spent on her, and she auditioned for Rachel. Yes, I only got 2. Unfortunate. And normally I would roll a dice to show whether I'm going to get a nightmare prompt, a blind shelf prompt, all the things. But Eloise has lost that die for me. So until I get that replaced, I'm just going to do a bonus roll. So we're going to bonus roll and see what we get for that. And then we had 24, which had to be an author that I've read from before, and it was another prompt-dependent genre. I promise I didn't choose this. Like, this all just happened for me. And it had to have mostly 5-star ratings on Goodreads, and I'm so glad that this worked out because I was really sad when I couldn't use this book for Celestial or Godly. And that most certainly is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I have got to get to this book, okay? I have got to know what the hype is all about. Now, I will be reading, hopefully, Ballad of Songbird and Snakes beforehand. I know you don't have to, but I want to read them all so I can say that I've done that. And so, yeah, I'm just excited to finally get to Haymitch's book. I just have to know. I'm rereading Mockingjay right now, like the whole series, and I'm having a fabulous time. So I just know this is going to hit different. So with all of that considered and all the books that I could grab at the moment, this is where we're at for Tar. It's not that bad. Oop, I did forget a book. Here is The Eyes Are the Best Part right here. Don't want to forget that on the stack. So overall, not that bad. I think we can do it. And so now we are going to talk about other books that have to go on the TBR, whether it's for book clubs and like all of the things. Although I will say a PSA really quick. Upon further reflection, me and Katie realized that the only dates that we had available for June were either the day of a circus show that I had, and I can't do stuff on a circus show day because I have a lot to do, or it was face-off weekend. And so we have decided that we are not doing the Tortured Readers book club in June. We are just going to move everything over 1 month. So we were going to read The Night and the Moth for June. We're going to read it in July, although I really, really, really want to read it. So we're going to have to see. But we are going to read it in July. So I don't have to read a book for that. For my own Patreon book club though, for May and June, I do have to read Living Legend by Ali Shanti, which I will still read. It's not that long, so I will definitely get to that. And I do have to catch up on some Lady of Darkness books by Melissa K. Rorick, but we're not going to talk about which one right now because I'm a little bit behind. And then I hopefully will be doing a buddy read for this next month, but I am not going to necessarily say that just yet, but I do want to get to Shield of Sparrows next month, so I'm putting that on the TBR because I really do want to read that. And then obviously I need to put Lost World on the TBR because I'm reading that in my read-along with Leandra for our Jurassic Park read-along. We just finished Jurassic Park. We're reading Lost World in June, so that will also be on the TBR. There are some books that I'll be reading for Villains and Vixens, but I don't want to necessarily which books right now because I'll just decide based off of what I'm feeling on a whim. And then I will say, if I can get to this, I would love to because it's Emmy's book selection for her book club, Fairytale by Veronica Lancet, and I've been wanting to read this since I got it. I really have to know what all the, I guess, hubbub is about. However, it's like 700 pages, but it's really like 1,000 because do you see how small that tiny writing is? That's insane. That's literally insane. And then a couple of book clubs are reading The Night and the Moth for June, and I really do want to read that. So actually, I need to talk to Katie about further reflection, whether we're actually putting our books, moving them back a month, or whether we're just going to skip this one, because if so, then we can read Night and the Moth for June, and that would be very exciting because I really want to read that. And that's all the books that I'm going to put on here for now. If I have forgotten a book that I'm supposed to buddy read with you or do something, let a girl know, because I always forget all of the things, but that's already a pretty impressive stack. And my goal this year for Tar is to be on top of it, is to just read my book as fast as I can as soon as the prompt drops, okay? So if you got to the end of this, let's put a fairy emoji because I was talking about Fairytale. Let a girl know if you're participating in Tar. What team are you on? I am on Team Lore Keepers, but I'm also being a moderator for Team Pathfinders, which is the non-competitive team. It's not too late to join. I will put Bree's announcement video underneath here. It is super, super fun. And with that, I want to say a special thank you to my patrons, the ones that support me and back me. I could not do all of these things without you. You are very helpful and supportive to me. If you're ever interested in joining our Friends Theme Patreon, we have lots of fun over there, including extra read-alongs, extra sprints, different content, all this sort of stuff. We're doing a Jurassic Park T-Rex Tuesdays movie marathon right now, so we're watching Jurassic Park 3. Well, we watched it yesterday by the time you see this video. But with that being said, be sure to also follow me on all social media platforms over at Rainy Blue Reads. Please like and subscribe to this content. It'll really help me out. And with that, my friends, I will see you in a video very soon.